So that's what the rest of Utapau looked like. This is the second sort of Clone Wars vlog. I'm vlogging about the 4-part Utapau arc that I'm guessing was planned for Season 6, but was unfinished when the Clone Wars was canceled and recently was put up online. This is the second episode in that arc, In Search of the Crystal, and once again serves as a reminder of how there was tons of awesome stuff coming for Clone Wars fans, and how Disney should not have canceled the show because this arc so far is awesome. This was another great episode. I mean, even despite it being a rough cut, it was still a really good episode. In this one, Anakin and Obi-Wan continue trying to unravel the mystery of what's going on behind the death of the Jedi, and their search takes them out of the sinkhole, and they're setting off looking for the people, the Separatists, robbing a weapons deal. And they find this group of creatures who have a really nice design. It's a shame this arc wasn't complete because I really would have liked to have seen the full design. It's like this cool half alien, half robot, half spider bot. They have like spider bodies. It's really cool. And their leader is voiced by James Wong, which is nice. And he also has a nice design. So anyway, so they're captured by these people who take them back to their camp where they learn that that Grievous is after this giant crystal for reasons we don't know. Anakin and Obi-Wan escape, they fight off the spider-bot things, and everyone escapes, but they find the crystal, and their plan is to... I'm guessing they're going to take the ship back to Coruscant. I don't know. I'll have to see next time. But yeah, this was another I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, even though it wasn't animated, it's still great. And again, I think the animation would just only enhance what's been a great episode. And I mean, it has to be great. I mean, this is the rough cut. If they can't just say, "Oh, it'll be great once we animate." It needs to be great as a rough cut, and it really is. Again, once again, the highlight of the step and the selling point is the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. We haven't really seen much of them doing stuff together. So it's really nice to just have a nice, fun, light arc where we can just see them just interacting with each other. And their banner is great. I mean, this is probably like the best performance Matt Latner and James Arnold Taylor have done. I'm really glad we're getting to see this. Matt Latner especially I love. Like, he was giving a great performance. Like, especially in this episode, he's more and more solidifying why I enjoy him more than Hayden Christensen. I mean, also part of it's the writers, but a lot of it has to do with his delivery. I mean, I never would have believed that I would actually enjoy seeing Anakin's whiny, hot-headed attitude, but due to a combination of good writing, along with some excellent timing by Matt Latner, it winds up being like the standout moment of the episode. Like, I love when they're going back and forth, like, "Oh, I just want, this is my plan, master, to let us get captured. Are we there yet? Oh, look! Another dude!" Or, my favorite was when they're in the weapons storage area and Anakin's picking up the gun. He's like, "Yeah, this is awesome moment." And it's like, so uncivilized. You're right, Master. That is a little too heavy. This, on the other hand, and just seeing him shooting just Anakin using a gun was just fucking hilarious, and it's a shame it wasn't animated. Because I think this is the first time in the Clone Wars where I actually laughed out loud. Because, yeah, it's been really dark the past few episodes. Not few seasons. And anytime they've usually done comedy, it's usually been one of the weaker points. So it's really surprising they're doing a fun arc, and it's actually really entertaining. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that dark. I mean, outside of the fact that a Jedi is dead at the start of it. But yeah, really good. And not only was Matt Latner's Anakin very funny and entertaining, but despite the fact that it's more or less the same character as in the prequel films, just written better. But the drama was handled better. Like, when Anakin's pissed, you actually sort of sympathize with him. Like, you understand why he's upset. And I love how this episode took some time to establish, that, he is hurt by the loss of Ahsoka. And that probably is explaining a lot of his anger. Like, the loss of Ahsoka is taking a toll on him. And it's nice that they're acknowledging the loss of Ahsoka. It's nice that we're seeing Anakin deal with it, because I was always thought it was odd that he didn't mention Ahsoka at all in the Lost Missions, but it's nice to know that they did have plans to deal with it. And it is... You really feel for Anakin, like, in ways that I've never with him during the prequels. And it also just sets up why he's so overprotective of Padme. Like, he doesn't want to lose someone again, not just his mother, but his Padawan. And there was some dramatic irony when he's talking to Obi-Wan. It's like, how would you feel if I failed you as an apprentice? And Obi-Wan's like, that's not gonna happen. And it's ironic just knowing that it will happen. So yeah, so in addition to some good banter, there's also a lot of fun action on this ship. And it's a shame that the arc wasn't finished, because it looked like really cool action. Like, especially the shot where they're going, where it's just the camera's just panning through the vents and we're seeing the bullets flying. That was really cool. Again, like, I really would have loved to have seen this arc completed. Let's see what else. Just really, again, really nice designs on the creatures in the world. Everything about this, I'm sure it would have looked beautiful. But instead we just have the rough cut. Again, really hoping someday someone takes this and completes it so we can see it the way it was intended. Because some of this stuff looks really beautiful. Also, we got to hear James Hong's voice. I might have said that earlier, but I'm going to say it again. James Hong, yay! I was really curious what other voice talents would have appeared on the Clone Wars had it continued. And one of them was James Hong. I'm really curious what others were going to appear. Also, we got to see a cool new use of the Force, like Anakin turning on the lightsabers with the Force. We've never seen that done before, and I really like how the show is kind of using the Force in ways we haven't seen before. And it was used in a pretty amusing time. Like, I like when, like, Anakin's like, oh, don't touch that button, or later when the droid's like, oh, or when Obi-Wan's like, Anakin, I'm not impressed, in that droid, who's voiced by Corey Burton. And I could tell because he's more or less doing the same voice he did for Cad Bane, but he's like, I am impressed. And then Anakin just turns on the lightsabers and it kills him. It's like they're building up this fight, and then they just, over in a second, you know, it kind of like in Raiders of the Lost Ark when that guy comes out and you're expecting a big fight, but then it's over, but then Indy just easily beats him. Also, I really like how we got out of the sinkhole. I mean, it was cool going to the sinkhole, but I really like how we got out, and they're really using the show to really explore Utapau and show us areas of it that we haven't seen before. I mean, when I think Utapau, when anyone thinks of Utapau, they just think of that sinkhole. But what this arc is kind of cool is it showed us that there's a bit more to Utapau than the sinkhole. There is this giant plains area. That sinkhole is a sinkhole in a giant plains area. So I really like how we got to see that. And it was also just nice to get out of there, because it did feel a little redundant being in the sinkhole, which I'm not sure how they filmed the sinkhole, but it always looked very CGI. So, man, it felt weird having a CGI show go to a almost entirely CGI environment. But yeah, so once again, I really enjoyed this episode. Another great episode. Would have been a great addition to Clone Wars had it been completed. But still really good regardless. I'm curious where they're going with this arc. Even though it's fillery and doesn't really seem to have much to do, I think it's really fun and a nice break from all the drama on the show. And probably some of the best fun, lighthearted stuff I've seen from this show in a while. Like, I mean, Rebels, they're talking about the fun classic Star Wars vibe, but for me, I think this is going to be it. And yes, I do know that Rebels, you can watch it online, but I want to watch this first because Clone Wars comes first for me. So yeah, so I'm wondering what the crystal's used for. My guess is that that's going to be used for the Death Star, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Also, if Grievous is going to appear in this arc, I'm really curious how they're going to keep him and Anakin from meeting each other, because Filoni's said he's really wants to keep the continuity, and part of that includes Anakin and Grievous not meeting each other at Episode 3. So if Grievous shows up, I'm really curious how they're going to separate Anakin and Obi-Wan so Anakin doesn't see Grievous. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Again, like, my biggest gripe is that this arc wasn't finished and we aren't seeing it the way it was intended to be seen. But I'm still really glad we got this. I'm really glad that Filoni considers this episode important, landmark, and that happened, and that he's been nice and is nice enough to share it with us. So next time I'm gonna vlog about Crystal Crisis. So until then, this is JStars360, and may the Force be with you.